Hi and welcome to Rusty's Rustic Pantry. I'm Russ. Today we're going to be looking at curing or pickling, if you want to call it, a piece of beef in order to make corned beef or pastrami. The traditional cut of beef that is used to make corned beef is the brisket, which is from the front part of the animal, from the bullock. It's the chest muscle, and it's usually very tough, which needs a slow cook. However, I've chosen to use a piece of topside mainly because I've been to the store today and it was on offer. So I've actually got in the fridge a piece of topside that weighs about, well, just over 2.5 kilos, and we'll be brining that and turning it into corned beef. Now, I got that really cheap, it was only £10, so this is a little bit of an experiment, a little bit of, away from the normal routine for doing a corned beef. But we're going to talk first of all about the brine. Now, first stage is to actually make a stock first of all rather than brine. In here I've got 5 litres of cold tap water, and to do the stock, to make the stock, I'm going to add some herbs and spices. First of all, I've got some mustard seed, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of mustard seed. In that goes. I've got some ground coriander, again about a teaspoon of that goes in. I have some coriander seeds, again a teaspoon. Right. And there you go. A few bay leaves, they can go in as well. And finally, some coarse ground black pepper. Now, I like a bit of punch to my corned beef, so it's 2 tablespoons of pepper. And as I said, this isn't actually a brine at the moment because we haven't added any curing salts or curing agents to the liquid. This is purely just a stock. Now, this is going to go onto the cooker. I'm going to bring that to the boil, and I'm going to boil it for about 10 minutes and let it simmer for a further 20, just so the water infuses with all the aromatics that I've put in there. Once it's cooled down, I will then add the curing agents, the nitrites and nitrates. Nitrates in food, people can be a little bit funny about. In concentrations, they are poisonous, so we have to measure them very carefully along the prescribed guidelines for the brine we're particularly using. There's 2 different types of brine. There's a wet brine that we're going to be using here, and there's what's called a dry cure. They're 2 totally different things. I'll talk about that in detail once this has cooled down and once I start to add the curing agents to the water. The reason we add the curing agents to the water after it's boiled and not added them now is because the heat of the water when it comes to the boil can actually reduce the effectiveness of the curing agents, and the last thing we want is to cut into our lovely piece of beef and find out it's not been cured all the way through properly. Okay, so very important, leave that to the last thing once it's cured down and you're ready to actually put your beef into cure. So we'll put this now onto the oven to cook, and I'll get back to you as soon as it's cooled down and we're ready to continue.